and the otherwise to bring justice. We should sanction all CCP officials. They are carrying out genocide.
This is going on. And we have legislation in Congress that was passed in the House last year that I helped to write, that we need to get passed in the Senate. We need to pass it again in the House this year. The Uyghur Forced Labor Protection Act, where we need to hit China in the pocketbook so that there's a rebuttable presumption that any product that comes out of Xinjiang region, which is where the Uyghurs are located, where these education camps, as they call them, are located, is presumed to be made with forced labor. China is one of the largest suppliers of cotton in the world and cotton-made products. 80% of that cotton comes out of the Xinjiang region. That ends up in the American supply chain. We need to put economic pressure on China to say that we cannot allow you to continue to use forced labor as forcing goods for the rest of the world. There's so many more things that we need to do regarding sanctions, but the most important thing we need to do is to educate the world community as to what is happening to the Uyghur people. People need to know that this is happening. So we'll read about it. There'll be a story written about this. There'll be some television shows about this. It'll be in the New York Times. It'll be in the Washington Post. It'll be here and there. But it's not gotten into the mindset of the American people yet, or the West as a whole, for what's actually transpiring. And the Chinese Communist Party and the government there will continue to deny this is even happening. They'll say that these are vocational camps, that they're just trying to help people to get skilled training for jobs. That this is not an effort to try and reduce the Uyghur population. Well, look at the Uyghur population. It's grown so much over the past 10 years, is what the Chinese Communist Party will say. When in reality, they're doing everything they can to try and obliterate the population.
The Chinese Communist Party cannot find a market for the goods made with Uyghur forced labor. While I cannot join you today, please know that I stand with you and will continue to do everything I can to fight for freedom of every Uyghur, so they may live in peace and fulfill their God-given potential. Thank you for your efforts to raise awareness of what is taking place in Xinjiang. The time for action is now. We cannot look away. We must act to stop these abuses, and we must ensure that every official responsible for the ongoing atrocities faces the full weight of justice. Thank you. And thank you all for all that you're doing to take your day out there. I see a lot of coats, so maybe it's a little chilly. It's really important to the work of us as policymakers and their staff to have the support of you to be able to get so many of these initiatives done. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Palos, for your words, and the entire Rubio team for your message and your continued efforts to combat the Uyghur oppression. Next, we would like to introduce Dr. Sophie Richardson. Dr. Richardson is the China Director at Human Rights Watch, and we are honored to hear from her today.
Thank you so much for inviting me to join you. I'm sorry I can't be there with you in person to meet so many new friends. I think if there is a silver lining to this crisis, it is the extraordinary broad support across so many different communities in so many different countries, lending their assistance and their love and support and friendship and solidarity to the Uyghur and Turkic Muslim community. I want to give shout out to my sister Rushan Abbas, who's working so hard for her sister, Dr. Abbas, who's been detained simply for being Rushan's sister. A classic case of the Chinese government efforts to persecute people who do nothing more than ask for their family members' freedom. So we're gathering on an auspicious day. We've just seen historic coordinated sanctions announced by the United States, the European Union, the UK, and Canada. And we believe that this helps raise a price on individual Chinese government officials and different government agencies for their complicity in serious human rights violations. The task now is to turn that momentum into a press for accountability. If we were talking about the representatives of any other government in the world, we would probably already see them sitting in a courtroom someplace being prosecuted for these gross human rights violations. It is our commitment to that goal that will keep us working with the community for however long it takes. Human Rights Watch has spent 25 years documenting torture, enforced disappearances, gross restrictions on religious freedom, mass arbitrary detentions in political education.
In November 1938, in Nazi Germany, on the night of Kristallnacht is the night of broken glass, and Joseph Breuer was arrested, he was detained, and he was beaten for the crime of being a Jew. And Joseph Breuer is unique in one sense, and that sense being that he and his family were able to leave and survive. But 6 million other Jews cannot say the same story. And Joseph Breuer was able to bring his entire family. He was able to flee Nazi Germany and was able to start a new life in the United States. Never again means? Never again means? By us coming together and by mobilizing, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. We will be the difference. We will be the ones who end this genocide. Never again means? Thank you.
Understand that this genocide is occurring to real people. To the U.S. government, it's important that we not just speak about how bad this atrocity is. We need to take concrete action. We need to implement political, diplomatic, and economic pressure. We understand these are not simple steps to take. These events come with them. These events have associated costs. But we believe that it's worth it, because what we'll get in return is to fight for freedom and justice. And that's why it's incredibly important that we as a country take concrete action and fight against this ongoing genocide. So thank you everyone for coming. One final note, if anyone has time. We've been told by a Uyghur person that we know that there are refugees currently in Thailand who are at risk of being deported back to China. So let's see what time is it now? At 1:45, for whoever still has time, we're going to meet outside the Thailand mission to the UN. The address is 351 East 52nd Street. Once again, that's 351 East 52nd Street. Basically, you just go up this block till you get to 52nd Street, then you make a left. If anybody still has time, we're going to be holding a small demonstration there. But anyways, thank you all for coming. I hope we'll continue to fight against this genocide and to fight for freedom.